Hey there, happy Good Friday to everyone. I hope you all can celebrate Easter this weekend in a special way as family or with friends or whoever is around you. It's been a busy day already. I went to the grocery store so that I could stock up on the ever important special groceries for the weekend, and hopefully I got everybody's favorites locked in there somewhere. I think they'll be excited when they see the table of food when they get here. So yeah, hi there, Pam. Today I'm bringing you another card. Like I said, this month for April Stamp Camp cards, I'm doing just a variety, so there will be more than 10. I usually do 10, but there will be more. So what I'm doing, and that's why I'm a little bit later today, is I went through the new annual catalog that I got in the mail. And so I went through that and went through all the stamps, all the punches, all the dies, all the ribbons, all the accessories, laid it all out to get inspired. I kind of knew what I wanted to work with today, but now it gives me an idea of what I need to work with this month for you guys. Hi Lois, hi Donna, hi Julie, hi Lisa, a bunch of you are on here. And I'm not seeing that my iPad is keeping up with me again today, which I'm not surprised because it's very windy. It's been really windy this whole week, and that kind of plays with our internet out here on the farm. Hi Rosina. Thank you, Lois. Happy Easter to you too. So here is today. Let me get it out of my bright sunny window. Here's today's card number 2. And so it is a sympathy pet card, kind of geared towards guys and such, and not guys, dogs, excuse me, dogs instead of cats. And so as I make today's card, I am going to be showing you a whole bunch of products. And that was another part, is my whole desk area was just full of stuff that I needed to kind of get out to know what I wanted to play around with. So as I use all of the things to make my card today, I am going to show you what is staying, and I'm going to make notes of what's staying, what's carrying over, what was carried over, coming back, and what is retiring. So that will help you. So if you are a list maker or note taker, hopefully I'll help you with those kind of things too. So let me get my camera turned around. Hey there, Lisa. So yeah, there's so many people that I know that have pets, dogs especially, but cats too, that are totally family. So when it comes to sometimes those pets and beloved animals passing away, then this is where cards like this come in just perfect for that emotional time and moment. So here it is up close, sending you a paper hug, always in your heart. So sorry for your loss, and the paper. So hi there, Renee. All right. So where I'm getting the different things from is I kind of just put them in my catalog here as they appear. So this is the annual catalog. Pampered Pets. There are coordinating dies to go with Pampered Pets as well. And both the stamp set and the coordinating dies are staying. So don't be afraid like that's going anywhere. But the things that are part of the suite, and that is on page 40 through 42 in the catalog. So this cute paper here, that's where I'm pulling this from. This is retiring. So when you see the card is made up mostly of the fun paper, and this whole set of paper kind of has half and half cats and dogs in it. So that is retiring. So I wanted you to know that. And then I'm going to put these trinkets on cards. And so these little cute pets, there was hearts that I used for cat cards I made quite a while ago. And now I'm using up the little dog bones today for the cards. So those are retiring as well. So I wanted to let you know that. And then this stamp set, Heartfelt, I love it, love it, love it. A lot of you already have this. It coordinates really well with the 2 heart punches that I'll use today too. I'm using just this heart today from it. This is retiring. So don't be too alarmed, because I know a lot of you already have it. And that's in the annual catalog on page 75 there. And then the last stamp set that I'm using today is Comfort and Hope. And I used that a lot when it first came out in the annual catalog, and that is on page 88. So some of you may already have that as well. And I love just that little sending you a paper hug. But there's a lot of nice sentiments for difficult times or sympathy there too. So though that one is retiring. So that's all from the annual catalog there. And so I'm going to clear off my space. That's why you can tell it was so messy just with stamp sets alone. And here are all my little pieces and scraps and such to make today's card come together. So what I'm going to do first is just kind of get the base of my card started here. So my card base is basic black, folded this way, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to use a couple pieces here. So the cute paw print paper, the other side just had a whole bunch of dogs that if you like to fussy cut, those could be cut out for different types of dogs. I love the variety of both cats and dogs that Stampin' Up! Provided on the paper because it could be sent to a lot of people with specific dogs and cats that look like the ones that are on the paper. But for this, I decided to go just with a print to make it easier. And so that can be just tacked down here with the seal adhesive. Excuse me. I'm going to grab a drink right away. I was out running errands, and I just think all the wind that we have has just made me have a tickle like all week from the dry everything and dust. And it could be the remodeling in our house too. Okay, so this red is 4 by 5 1/4. Hey there, Carol. You'll like today's card. There's no coloring, no markers on it at all today. Okay, excuse me. So the red is 4 by 5 1/4, and then the printed paper is 3.75 by 5 then. And then this, because there's no ribbons that are going around anything, I usually have to kind of wait and decide. There's no ribbons today, so I'm going to go ahead and tack this down, and it's going to feel like most of the card is almost put together by being able to put that on there too. So we've got that for our base. So everything's just going like a 1/4 inch from the base to the front here. And now to get everything put on the front, really pretty simple there as well. And I'm going to start with some of this. Yeah, the camera's picking that up really well. And you might go, okay, that's not fair. So this is my little message of I'm not being fair today. I always try to stick with everything being current. But I had this when I was going through my papers and such. I thought, why do I still have this black glitter paper? And it's because a lot of you did get it from the July through January catalog. And with that, or maybe it was December catalog, excuse me, with that, I kept it because it's coming back for this fall. And so you often think, okay, Halloween, so that's why Stampin' Up! Probably had it in last fall's catalog and will again this year. So 12 by 12, and I just cut and snip away whenever I have the fun glimmer papers and such because you only need little pieces. So in the catalog, another punch pack that is carrying over are these 2 hearts that go together. So this one can nest into that one. I'm going to be using them both. So this one's a larger one with the scallop edges. So never fear, it is not going anywhere. So I'm going to just feed that into the scallop heart here. So like I said, some of you may have this, and if not, know that it will be coming back in July too. So that I'm going to set aside. And then before I do my next heart, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. And so this is photopolymer. It's really easy to ink up and put that on my paper and line it up easily. But what's not as easy, but pretty good, is the, whoops, upside down, sending you a paper hug. This sentiment is on a cling, and so that one can get a little bit dicey as far as I do want it to really line up well today. So I'm going to stamp that first, and actually I'm gonna kind of go left to right. I think that'll help my eyes. So I'm just going to stamp that out first in real red ink. That's what I used for this. And then I'm going to use some black Memento ink here on that little dotted heart. Okay, so I've got that inked up in black. And like I said, because this is photopolymer, it's going to be really easy then to center that. So if you're making this card and your words get a little bit tipped right or left, you can correct it as soon as you put the heart on it. So we've now got the sending you a paper hug centered in that heart. And now the smaller of the heart punch pack can be used to punch that out as well. Okay, there we go. So we've got the heart done in black and the sentiment in real red. Just looks like it's a little rough there. I'm just going to trim that off. Maybe it's time to sharpen my heart punches. I have used them a ton, so that's not all surprising. So that is ready to go there and there. And before I put that down, I'm also going to stamp out the sentiment. And the sentiment is from specifically the stamp set Pampered Pets. And so it is meant for, sorry for your loss, for a pet loss. So that I'm going to ink up in real red as well and just put on a strip of 3/4 inch Whisper White. And I just kind of, when I do things that are a strip and kind of smaller, I just kind of give myself a lot of room for grace, because that way I can easily just stamp it out and then trim it as needed versus having to put it in a box. Now I'm only worried kind of about top and bottom. So that I just snip, but ahead of time I knew I wanted a 3.5 inch strip of basic black to go across the bottom so that it kind of fits in with everything being a 1/4 inch less. So with this being 3.75, then this I wanted to be 3.5. So this is 3.5 by 1 inch, and then the white is 3/4 inch. And so now I can do some assembling here because that's all together. So I'm just going to take the black glitter heart, and this is almost like a cardstock back, so it's not hard at all to get some adhesive to stick to that well. Hi there, Linda. Good to see you on here. And then I'm just going to go ahead with my seal adhesive and put a couple swipes of that on my sending you a paper hug sentiment here. So let me get that over here. So I'm going to kind of tip that a little off to the side. And this one, kind of just have it be squared up to the card as well. Okay, and then I just need kind of one, because this is pretty sticky, one little strip of that adhesive going down the middle and center that. And I'm not using any dimensionals today. Yesterday I didn't use my die cutting machine for dies or embossing. I'm not today, but I tell you, between no dimensionals and no dies, that's like really rare for me to not have one or the other. And then to think 2 days in a row of no dimensionals and no die cutting. So it can be done. The reason why I didn't want to add any dimensionals is I'm going to add that embellishment. And so with that, the little dog trinkets here, that I'm going to put on with the Playful Pets Trim Combo Pack. Now this is also carrying over, which is great because it matches the paper that's retiring perfectly. Lots of red and black in there, but I've used this combo pack for so many other different things. So I'm glad that that is sticking around, because that's something that we can easily use for all sorts of other projects too. So this is a pretty small little hole here. I'm going to see if I can thread it through, and not that there's a ton of you watching, but still enough that it kind of makes me nervous. Oh, and it went through. And I will say that I had one set aside all done up in case it didn't work. So that way you guys wouldn't have to sit and watch me sweat it out here on my end if it didn't work out good the first time. So I'm just pulling that through, and I'm just going to knot it once. And then with my ribbon scissor here, I'm going to cut that off kind of small, but kind of just so it's the same length on both ends. And then, you know how dogs love to chew on their toys and such? Just gonna rough that up like so, and that end like so too. So it kind of looks now like a little chew toy would that a dog would have. And I'm just going to snip a little bit extra on this end just because it looks like it's not the same, and that will bug me. So there we go. So now we have that there. Hi, Rosina. And next I'm going to put this little dog trinket into the bone, and then I'm also going to grab another glue dot and make sure that that goes behind my knot. Oops. There. So I've got a couple glue dots going because that knot, it could come undone. It probably wouldn't, but having a glue dot there will help ensure that it doesn't. And then I'm just going to center that here on the bottom of my heart that I've got stamped out. Sending that, and then I want to just kind of make sure that it's on there, but that it's not in the way of my sentiment too. I guess I could have put my sentiment up a little higher on this card. It's up a little higher than that one. So yeah, so that's the front of the card. So sometimes I stop when I'm done and then say, hey, this is how I'm going to embellish it. But I kind of went ahead with the embellishment right away because it is almost like the focal point of the card there. And then for the inside, definitely want to do something for the inside today because it's a black card. So I'm just going to take some basic white cardstock here and zip along some tape, and I'm going to pretty much leave that blank because I've got a couple sentiments on the front already, and yet sometimes when you're writing, you don't want too much space because then it's like, oh, that seems overwhelming to fill all that space. So I'm just going to grab a piece of real red cardstock here. This punch is also retiring, the dog punch with the heart. That is retiring. Ironically, the cat punch is not. So I'm just going to feed that into the punch there. We've got a heart and a dog. So you could use a heart if you want to. I'm just going to use just the dog punch here. And, oops, I have to make sure it's the right way. That's what I love about the punch. If you want the dog facing that way, it can. If you want it to face that way, you can too. And so I know it's a small thing, but it's really nice when you're creating cards, or if you want two dogs facing each other, it works really well for that. So this I'm just going to tape down in the bottom there, so it looks like a silhouette of the dog sitting like so. So that's going to be the inside of my card there. So nice little sympathy card for a pet. And, you know, this obviously, you know, maybe looks more like a dog than a cat possibly. But if you have the playful pet trinkets or are getting them before they retire, is something that you could easily take some of the other paper or make it look more like a cat card too. And there is a cat punch that you could make that kind of be swapped out for that as well. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration, and hopefully you followed through everything I said, that's staying and carrying over and retiring. So let me get this flipped around for you guys. Yeah, I'm excited.